Did Chrissy truly confess that she had married someone else while Jim Jones watched live on TV in utter shock? Didn't anyone see it coming? Nor the audience, nor the host. And definitely not Jim. 1 minute Chrissy was calm, smiling, and laughing. Then she revealed the secret that destroys families. Although not legally wed, Jim and I were already lawfully wed. Wait, what? In fact, Jim's face was gushing blood. People thought it was a joke. When the producer switched to the commercial, the damage was already done. This did not have a script. This had no storyline. In the actual world, this was betrayed, transmitted to the entire world. Jim merely sat there blinking as though his breathing were difficult. The internet has been on fire ever since. Who is this secret husband? Why did Chrissy lie for years? For Jim, who waited almost a decade to wed her. What does this mean? It's not only him. His whole story is going to blow up all over the world. I assure you. Don't blink, because what happens next could ruin all they've ever built. He thought he had everything figured out. The loyalty, the love, and the legacy were supposed to be unbreakable. But as soon as the cameras started recording and the truth, Jim Jones endured a betrayal so horrible and so well known that it left the room in shock. All via broken grins and sidelong glances on national television. You could see it in his eyes, the way his jaw moved. That silent moment when everyone saw a guy realize his eternity had disappeared on live television. Chrissy did not act hastily. Sis took off running. We married in spirit. Jim was shouting, while in the background this woman was legally getting married to someone else. The fact that Jim and the others found out is the worst part. No warning, no heads up, no "Hey babe, we need to talk." Instead, there was a controversy, a live broadcast, and a man who was completely unprepared in front of millions. Don't you all remember their tumultuous past? The hip-hop and love proposal had Twitter in a frenzy. The divorced couple's engagement. Years of back and forth, breaks and reconciliations, hushed promises in studios, and furious arguments in darkened dining rooms have all occurred. This, however, took betrayal to a whole new level. This is what truly took place. According to people who have been whispering as though they were terrified for their lives, Chrissy has been talking to someone else for months. Nor casual flirtation, nor innocent direct messages. It's a whole spy movie package. Burned phones, encrypted texts, flights on luxury jets under false pretenses, camels during dinners, Turks. And what do you know? It is said that she is married to a man who is not like other men. It's connected. It's quiet money, industry power, the kind that keeps people out of the tabloids and lurks in the background. Chrissy, though, remained calm. Continue walking the red carpet with Jim and grinning at events as though nothing is happening. She had already submitted the paperwork for her secret wedding in the interim. She apparently used her maiden name to sign off in Puerto Rico in order to avoid the media. Even her closest friends were unaware. "Baby, no," said one friend, stepping aside. "I thought she was just getting a business license. It was a marriage certificate." Jim was out here defending her reputation like a loyal soldier. "We don't need any documents to show our affection." He only revealed this to one interviewer last month. All the while, he was ignoring the paper. She had previously signed it with someone else. The Messinses begins at this point. Live televisions. Collapse. A panel was planned for both of them. In Los Angeles, a reunion episode was filmed. The producers knew, the network knew, and they made it happen. A novel approach to the conversation. AINA Special Edition. The most high-profile celebrity marriages of the year were highlighted. Everyone is drinking champagne and joking before. A fuzzy image shows on the TV. Chrissy, wearing white, stands next to a man who isn't Jim. It was quiet in the room. Jim's beautiful face was surprised, then confused, then shattered. "What is this?" he whispered. "Yo, what is this?" Chrissy halted him as he continued to move away from the camera, as if someone needed to explain. She didn't blink, and she didn't say anything. She sat there looking coldly, as if she wanted him to learn this way. The internet never sleeps, as everyone knows. In just a few minutes, #ChrissyMarried gained popularity. Blogs became popular. A leaked video of the event that was reasonably clear but grainy surfaced on Reddit. In the background was the clapping voice of her mother. She was also complicit. Jim hurried off the set before shouting, "Y'all played with my life for views," and throwing his microphone across the platform. He was absolutely correct. Let's go back a bit though, because Jim was out here doing podcasts and promoting his new album about fidelity, and Chrissy was planning. One source claims, "I gave that man 20 years of my life. I deserve a man who follows through." Oop, the math is correct, buddy. Because, when you think about it, there has only been one proposal and no weddings in 20 years. Maybe she was correct, but the execution was obviously brutal. In addition, Jim's mother, Nancy, also referred to as Mama Jones, never liked Chrissy. The girl was too sly, she said immediately. Just a few days after the wedding was made public, Mama Jones was spotted wearing a diamond anklet and a new ring aboard his yacht off the coast of St. Bart's. Now that, Chrissy's new man is already making moves. She's out here on Facebook Live, popping champagne like she won the lottery and shouting, "Told y'all she was no good." The petty is generational. Lastly, the caption for her Instagram story is free. Free, sweetheart. You just claimed it was freedom and threw away 20 years. Hold on though, since the temperature decreases. It was reported that Jim had a real surprise in store. Only 2 weeks before the live TV presentation, he'd been working on his own plan. Indeed, Jim reportedly booked a luxury venue in the Maldives, flew in her closest friends, organized a private choir, and even picked out a 10-carat ring that would make any rapper jealous. He made the decision to go all out to make up for lost time and cement their story. And the ring is sitting in a drawer someplace right now, collecting dust and sadness. Jim's inner circle members are incensed. One of his boys sent a now-deleted tweet that read, "Imagine giving your all to someone who is married to someone else the whole time. Sick world. No lies detected." Here's the genuine thing, though. Chrissy isn't denying anything. In fact, she has been liking tweets that say she finished the required responsibilities. In her most recent interview with a questionable gossip blog, she said plainly, "Sometimes you have to save yourself, even if it breaks a few hearts." You broke the soul of an entire man. Supporters also dispute with one another. Some are calling her a queen because she made the decision for herself. Some characterize her as calculating, cold, and a cunning manipulator. On the timeline, it's a combat zone. Ideas regarding TikTok, deep dives on Instagram, Twitter threads are pulling them both to hell and back. She was checked out for years, he just didn't see it. But now we're wondering, did anyone see it coming? Or was this Chrissy's plan all along to keep the public wrapped up in, "Will they or won't they?" was one of the comments that went viral. Another said, "Jim waited too long. Now she's gone. Simple math." Whatever the case, it is undeniable. Next to Jim. Indeed, photographs and receipts from 2017 show Jim and Andre enjoying themselves in a Wynwood club, sipping champagne like brothers. In one of them, Chrissy sits between them. Either this whole thing has been simmering for years, or Chrissy cheated on her husband with one of his old buddies. Anyhow, it's filthy. And as the TV interview progressed, the producers were aware of a problem. It was clear from the way they continued to press Jim. "Have you seen Chrissy lately? You talk every day? Is there a ring yet?" The man seemed confused and made an effort to. You could feel that something wasn't quite right, but you managed to keep your cool and laugh off the uneasy feelings. Then, all of a sudden, they hit him with it. "Well, we've got some breaking news footage coming in. Think you should take a look?" The host adds, and Jim stops smiling as they play the tape. His body moves in the seat. Complete silence. The man grabs the microphone and asks, "Wait, that's Chrissy." There was a pin drop in the studio. The video showed Chrissy holding Andre. In front of a clerk's office, there was confetti. There were bridesmaids. Even the yell "Kiss the Bride" came from somewhere in the background. And they did. Jim's face grew expressionless. Looked like the man had been hit in the chest. The presenter said nothing, but he broke down in tears, saying, "Yo, this isn't real. This has had to be phony, right?" Just stared as the camera panned in on Jim's eyes, which were starting to water. Social media exploded. A second later, comments started flooding in. Jim didn't watch live TV to find out about his girl's nuptials. She was no longer interested in him. He just didn't want to see it. Because of this, you don't waste 19 years on a maybe. People were taking sides, of course. Team Chrissy said she had every right to move on. He'd been pulling her along for decades. She proposed marriage to him. How could a lady achieve that and still remain in the dark? She had cheated on him, according to Team Jim. She discreetly wed another man without telling anyone or communicating with him beforehand. The internet was consuming it like Sunday breakfast. But let's not ignore the leaks. Yes, the leak started as soon as the interview was broadcast. One of Chrissy's groups purported bridesmaids who got weeks ago. Audio of Chrissy talking about her wedding plans was leaked at the last minute. "I'm done waiting for a man who can't make decisions." She says in the video, "I'm done trying to justify myself." Andre is aware of his aspirations. Whoosh! The betrayal now took another form. This was no spontaneous moment. This was no short trip to Vegas. This was something Chrissy had planned and calculated. She knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't just continue. She planned her new marriage specifically to cast Jim in a negative light. But why is the camera rolling? 'Tis retaliation, they say. Others say it's control. One idea, though, is circulating around Reddit's fake streets. This was all done for show. Indeed, rumor has it that Chrissy and Andre inked a deal with a new network for their reality program. New wife, old life, and her producers wanted a dramatic launch. What could be more surprising than a surprise wedding that ruins your ex's entire reputation on national television? Moreover, Jim never came home after the interview. No, he stormed off set, yelling, "She really did that to me. She really aired me out like that." He was pacing the parking lot when he allegedly got into a violent phone conversation with his manager. Lot for an hour, throwing his hat and kicking the curb. "It's always the ones you ride for who stab you the deepest," he mumbled, and one cameraman supposedly caught it. In response, Chrissy's supporters posted a picture of her hand with a large wedding ring and wrote, "Finally, a cue internet meltdown." Jim's fans were livid. This woman used him for clout, and now she's flexing like she won the lottery. Chrissy hasn't made any public remarks, shared an Instagram story, tweeted, or shared anything on her grid. 20 years passed while she waited. Second, she deserves to be happy. A waiter who worked the wedding also posted a new video from the event as the internet argued. The Chrissy toasts to letting go of the past and, for once, choosing herself in the video. Everyone applauded. As Andre kissed her cheek, the camera shifted to a cake in the shape of a clock. Dead, just dead. Not even typically objective bloggers could help themselves. One headline read, "Chrissy marries Jim Jones, her former friend." While he still calls her wifey on national TV, ultimate plot twist or petty revenge, it was chaos. Even though it was just the beginning, Jim's next move was shocking. As soon as Chrissy stepped off the stage, social media turned into a battleground. Hashtags gained popularity. Say a prayer for Jim. Hashtag cheated. Hashtag Chrissy. Hashtag Chrissy exposed. Everyone was surprised by Chrissy's spouse, though. The matter was not merely a private one. The person in question is, in fact, a former VH1 producer. Yes, the same network that made Chrissy and Jim famous. And the worst is yet to come. This man, let's call him Rico, is credited with convincing Jim to pop the question to Chrissy on TV in the past. Talk about a full circle betrayal. An unidentified crew member claimed that Rico and Chrissy grew close during post-production. Very close. We thought it was just Hollywood taunting, even though we all witnessed it. It never occurred to any of us that she would marry the man while still using Jim's name. Picture Jim as sitting in his dressing room, still stunned by the barrage of TV, with the cameras off and his hands on his head as he swings a chain. He murmurs, "There's no way. There's no way this is a real man." But then a voice note was slipped into it, and that's when things went wrong. Jim can be heard whispering to a close friend, "What does loyalty look like in the modern world? She is now married to the same man who used to serve me coffee on set, and I gave her everything to make her." It was hardly an unplanned betrayal. When the friend said, "Bro, she'd been gone. You just don't want to see it." Jim was the last to find out about the gradual, quiet, and years-long estrangement occurring behind the scenes. Chrissy and Rico, her alleged new husband, were spotted getting on a private jet to St. Bart's. And if you thought it was terrible, guess what? She still wore the diamond bracelet Jim had given her after his 2018 music comeback performance. Little thing, it did send fans into a tailspin. Yes. Not her wearing Jim's jewelry while on vacation with Rico? A tweet screamed out, "That is known as fill-in behavior." It didn't end there, though. A close friend of Chrissy's, Tamika, went live from her hotel room and shared more details than anyone could have predicted. Anticipated. "You all don't even know half of it," Tamika began. "Chrissy is no longer a member of that collaboration. She told me 2 years ago that I wouldn't die waiting for Jim to marry me. Either I or someone I genuinely wish to marry will be my spouse." She clearly meant it. But Jim isn't keeping quiet any longer. There was a fascinating story on his Instagram profile. Despite the white text and black background, it's not love. Loyalty rather than love. Who you build with is important. Suddenly, millions of fans flooded his comment section, begging for answers. But damage had already been done. The story takes a dangerous turn at this point. Instead of Chrissy, Jim's team apparently asked for a restraining order against Rico. Sources claim that Jim believes this was more than just betrayal. It was manipulation. He said that one of the representatives, Rico, was in our group and was familiar with the area. He used his access to ruin something sacred. In addition, Rico's ex-girlfriend DS. He had one arrived unexpectedly with voicemails, direct messages, receipts, and even a blurry photo showing him with Chrissy on what looked to be a hotel balcony. This was more than just infidelity. There was a plot here. And now everything was coming to light. But perhaps the most tragic event was when Jim's mother, Nancy, often known as Mama Jones, gave her first speech in front of an audience. With tears in her eyes and anger in her voice, she continued, "I told my son years ago, Chrissy, didn't I? She doesn't care about our family, and now she's done embarrassing him on TV. I hope she enjoys that man because she just lost a real one." Her supporters rallied around her, especially hip-hop aficionados and traditional lovers. "It was Mama Jones who gave us instructions." According to one admirer, she always saw through Chrissy's act. Yet while the internet was criticizing, Chrissy, her crew, was clapping back. The argument continued as Chrissy's hairstylist posted a questionable tweet that read, "Are you really upset that a grown woman chose herself? Perhaps if Jim had signed that marriage license 10 years ago, none of this would have happened." Get over it. Blogs were delving into it. YouTubers were performing breakdowns. Even former co-stars started to comment. "Oh crap," Yendandi Smith remarked. "Karma spins like a DJ. Hope everyone's watching the set," in a since-deleted tweet. Meanwhile, VH1 insiders said that the entire catastrophe was part of a poorly thought-out relaunch idea. Indeed, precisely. There are rumors that Jim and Chrissy were invited to return to television. a secret wedding betrayal, and a false vow renewal that went horribly wrong. But then it turned into something real. Was this an intentional event? Or did reality simply overwhelm the script? This is another layer. According to a document that has allegedly surfaced, Chrissy changed her legal last name weeks before the TV taping. Which last name did she adopt? Do you know, Rose? Indeed. This proves one thing. Jim was actually the last to learn. In addition to being taken by surprise metaphorically, he was also taken by surprise legally, emotionally, and professionally. Now, the question about everyone's lips. What follows? Will Jim make a comeback with a diss song? Are Chrissy and Rico going to be interviewed? Will this be a limited series from the creators of Hip Hop and Love? Nobody knows. However, one thing is for sure. The truth is more disgusting than anyone could have ever guessed. Blogs are blowing up and the streets are talking. And now everyone is watching Jim, since his next action will decide everything. Keep an eye out, because this scandal isn't even over yet.